I've wanted to make this video for quite some time, to be honest, and it's one of those slightly bigger ideas, video ideas, that the only thing it's waiting for is for me to get off my arse and just get started with it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to start this video idea. The video idea is, can I make a pedal board for £100 all in and end up with a board that is functional, has a wide range of tones, is giggable? I guess there's no point doing it if it's not giggable. And overall, does it still sound good? The market of cheap pedals is bigger than it has ever been, and it's quite hard to navigate as well. All you need to do is go on Amazon and look at the pedals that Amazon has available, and all of them look suspiciously similar. You don't exactly know what the quality is like, how they're going to sound. And it's also a market that I've not ventured too far into. Now, I mentioned Amazon, however, I think even that is going to be slightly too expensive for what I'm going for. So I think we're going to have to go secondhand. My first point of call when it comes to secondhand is reverb. I'm going to give away some of the things that I'm watching here, clearly. But I think this is the best starting point for looking for pedals around that £25 mark. And in my mind, I'm thinking a fuzz pedal, an overdrive, something wobbly, and something spacey. So let's get started. Let's have a look at the effects pedals category. And really what I want to do is just look at all the listings, and I want to sort it low to high with price. All classic Joyo. I think we're going to see quite a few Behringer pedals here. I'm going to favourite that as a delay pedal. That could be cool. Dolomio, I've not heard of those, but that looks like quite a cool pedal. I wondered how long it would be till we saw one of these Dan Electro pedals. I'm going to leave that. I'm not feeling that. Oh, I'll do like the food pedals though. Pastrami. Oh, that is in bad shape. That is in bad shape. Oh, Harley Benton Vintage Phase. Looks basically like a Phase 90 for £21. That could be really cool. Okay, we are at the £25 mark. I'm getting a little nervous now, because anything higher than this, then we're going to have to start sacrificing in other areas. Ooh, now that looks cool. A fuzz pedal, the Behringer SF300 Super Fuzz. That looks cool. I'm gonna save that. And there's something else that could be interesting, an NUX Steel Singer Drive. I'm gonna favourite that as well. That's on a discount, 38% off. I'm really now looking for delay and reverb. This is gonna be tricky, because I guess delay and reverb is a slightly more expensive effect. We're now sort of getting to the £35 mark. And this is starting to get too expensive. I'm not sure that we can justify a £35 pedal. I'm going to start adding some of these to my basket because we're going to commit. So that means our total, £93. We'll come back in a week's time, or whenever, hopefully they arrive soon, and we will build a pedal board and get some tones. Let's see how this goes. I'm excited. This is going to be cool. Okay, let's come back in a week's time. Oh. Okay, so all the pedals have arrived. Well, in the first part of this video, I was talking about getting 4 pedals. Keen-eyed among you will notice that there are 5 packages here. Yeah, I guess I managed to get 5 pedals for £100, or under £100 actually in the end. Let's just get these open, have a look at them, get first impressions, then we'll whack them on a board. Hello. Hope you're doing all right. Sorry to interrupt your video viewing. I always forget to do this when I'm filming, but if you are enjoying the video so far, it would really help me out if you would go and like the video, but also subscribe as well. I feel like this is a crazy statistic, but people who watch my videos regularly, every time I upload, 90% of them are not subscribed. Only 10% of my regular viewers are actually subscribed to the channel. So if you're one of the 90% who aren't, please go and hit the red button and subscribe. It would really help me out. Let's get back into these cheap pedals and see how it goes. We'll start with this one. Like I said, I don't know which one's which. What have we got here? Harley Benton. Okay, so there you go. Little Phase 90 type thing. Metal enclosure, which is good. Condition seems all right, just 1 or 2 chips, bit of sticky residue, but that's all right. So the vintage Phase from Harley Benton cost me £21. It's a good start. That's going to be my wobbly thing on the board. This was actually from Rich Tone Music in Sheffield, here in the UK. Good little shop. Right, let's move on. We've got this one next. I'm going to try and not give away my address in this video. What have we got here? It's a little box that says Landlord Effects. Am I right in saying that Landlord Effects is Anderton's little brand? I don't know. That's nice. That's a nice little pedal. So this is the Banging Hangover Reverb. Cool little pedal, it seems. We have a mix control, a tone control, and a reverb control, and then we can switch between a room, a plate, and a spring. That's pretty cool if you ask me. It's got a reasonable weight to it that feels quite well made. Although, I don't know if you can hear that, there is something rattling around inside of there. So that pedal was £20. I think that's a pretty good bargain if you ask me. Right, this is the one that just turned up in the post before I put the cameras on. So let's open this up and have a look. Okay, here we go. This is an X Vive. That's a really nice, vibrant colour, nice, vibrant pink. I'm hoping that's going to, reminisce to, Boss DM2s. Hope it's that sort of thing. This one's a bit gross. There's a bit of stickiness and stuff on the back that we'll just ignore for now. Little chip on the side, but that's fine because this was the cheapest pedal of the lot. This was £12.49. That's crazy, crazy value. Well, if it works, it's crazy good value. All right, two more. Okay, this one doesn't have a box. It's our drive pedal. So this is the Sonicake Blue Screamer. I'm assuming by the name that it's either a blues breaker or a tube screamer. So the Blue Screamer was £15. That's a bargain. Even though it's not in great nick and it doesn't have a box, as long as it works, that's all that matters. And finally, that means this is going to be our fuzz pedal. Let's get this open. I think this is the one I'm most excited for. Again, no box, but that's okay. There you go. Classic Behringer pedal. Plastic enclosure on these. I've never actually held a Behringer pedal, and they do feel pretty cheap, I'm not going to lie. Do feel very cheap and plasticky, but hopefully it sounds good. The Behringer was £25, which brings our total, I believe, to £93.49. Let's get these all on a board and see how they sound. A pedal board with 5 pedals on for less than £100. I'm pretty amazed that we managed to do it. Let's hope they sound good. Okay, so first of all, it definitely passed the signal. All the pedals also work. That was literally the first time I've heard these pedals together. First impressions is there's definitely some sounds in here. They need some tweaking, I think. Overall, the clean bypass sound is fine. Actually, it's quite good. I don't know what we have here in terms of true bypass or the buffered bypass. The signal chain is as follows. I'm playing my Man Cutlass. Then we're going into the pedal board, out of these pedals into my Victory Copper. So let's go with the Super Fuzz first. Let's go from right to left. This is the Super Fuzz in mode 1. Everything roughly at 12 o'clock. That's actually really great sounding. It's got like a very subtle upper octave going on. I think I've played a Boss pedal that's similar to that. Maybe it's a direct copy of that. Am I right in saying that JHS did a whole episode on this pedal? Am I getting confused with something else? Either way, that sounds really cool. I like the sound of that. Let's try the other two modes. We have Fuzz 2 mode and a Boost mode. Basically dumps all the mid-range out of it. Not so much a fan of that. It's definitely reminded me of a Boss pedal. Is it the FZ5 or the Hyper Fuzz? Something along those lines. And then it's got a Boost mode. that's actually really useful, because putting this together, I was ever so slightly worried that we were missing another gain stage, missing a boost. So we've got that in the Super Fuzz, and that's completely by accident. If I'm honest, it's the least well made out of all of them on the board. But I think we kind of already knew that about Behringer pedals. But it's a good start tonally. I like it. Let's move on to the Sonic Ache Blue Screamer. Now, I'm yet to know if this is a tube screamer or a blues breaker or a mixture of both. We have level, drive and tone, and then loud and warm switch. So currently we're on the loud mode. Quite muddy, you need a bit of sparkle back there. Let's crank up the tone a little bit. See, the tone is adding frequencies that I don't want, even though it's still remaining muddy. Not quite working for me. Let's try the other mode. Sounds like kind of tube screamery, this one. Funnily enough, the warm mode is actually much more piercing and bright. I definitely prefer the sound of the loud mode, but it's too muddy, really. I'm struggling to get the clarity out of it. That being said, it is a perfectly serviceable overdrive sound. Actually sounds pretty good. Let's move on to the vintage phase. Now I'm looking forward to spending some time with this because I've recently been enjoying phaser in my tone. It thins out the sound somewhat, more so than a normal phaser, but it's got quite a nice sweep. Yeah, it's getting rid of a load of bottom end. I think, you know, for example, if you've just got phaser for like one song in your set list, kind of does the job, doesn't it? Let's move on to the delay pedal. So this is the X-Vive, I think it was a V5 delay. Sounds like a nice analog thing, like the DM2 that I love, and I love that for a bit of slapback. That's really good. You know what? Out of all of them so far, that might be my favourite. It is simple, it was cheap, obviously, but it sounds good. And crucially, there's no volume drop, which you do get occasionally with more affordable delay and reverb pedals. Speaking of which, I have a sneaking suspicion that that is exactly what we're going to encounter with the Banging Hangover, unfortunately. What controls do we have? We have a mix, a tone, and then a reverb, and then room plate and spring. Let's put it on spring and see how we get on. That is the weirdest spring reverb I've ever heard. Almost sounds like a duck. know what they've done there. They've almost added like a enveloping wah sound, something filtery, to give that fluttering spring effect. Doesn't sound like a spring at all, but it's an interesting reverb sound. And also, not too much of a volume drop. Let's try the other two modes on here. Let's turn it back up a little. So this is the plate. And then finally, room. All right, you know what? All said and done, that is a workable, functioning pedalboard. What did we set out to do in the first place? We set out for it to be versatile. I think we've covered a lot of bases. I think maybe if we were going to add anything, maybe it would be another gain stage. Other than that, I think we've got a lot of bases covered. We wanted it to be functional. We wanted it to work, basically. And I certainly think it works. It's also quiet. None of the pedals are necessarily introducing too much noise to the signal. Most of the pedals seem reasonably well built. I do think that the Super Fuzz, the Behringer, I wouldn't maybe trust gigging that night after night, but especially the Sonic Ache, the Banging Hangover, and the XV, to be honest, seem really well built. In fact, upon closer inspection, the Sonic Ache and the Landlord effects enclosures are exactly the same. And it kind of touches on what I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Sometimes all these pedals look suspiciously similar, and I reckon that they're all coming from the same place, from the same factory, just with a different logo on, which is fine. And then we also wanted it to sound good, and I think all of these pedals sound good. The Super Fuzz is a lot of fun. It's a great fuzz tone. Maybe not if you're a beginner to fuzz. You know, it's quite a specific sounding fuzz, so yeah, maybe not for a beginner. These two are really, really good. The delay especially might be the best sounding on the board, which is crazy because it was the cheapest. I would be comfortable gigging all of these pedals. As I said, I would be a little careful about the Behringer, but I'd be totally happy bringing this board out to a gig, and I'm pretty amazed that we managed to get it all for £93.49, which is insane. Okay.